Yeah, we're back with a little bit of a plan. Let me just run through some things here as somebody opens some delicious chips. Um, you have a jacket that you are currently fitting with an auto injector that you intend to fill with some kind of wonderful party favors. Um, that you're going to give to him as a prospective signing to a team.
Not the
So
drugs, the jacket.
By the way, when Lark went looking for those drugs, did he get them?
he was able to find some slab. Yes, he rolled 1,000,000 hits.
Okay.
Are we getting like 2 doses of it, I'm assuming?
You can have up to 4, as many as you feel like paying for.
How much does a dose do?
It's a good thing this has this handy dandy search function.
250 a dose.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, expenses can cover that.
So,
Because I think that's just good stuff to have around. Might as well buy 4, whether we need them or not.
All right.
Yeah, I can use that out at the bars.
And it was 400 for the jacket,
400 for the jacket, 1,400 for the injector.
1,400. So we are at that's what, 29,000?
You want to?
Yeah,
29,000.
I think
Or
2,900. I think is what he meant.
1,900. Are we adding the sin I'm getting in there?
Oh, also, it was 1,500 for that auto injector, actually.
Oh, 15.
Yeah. Are you going to reimburse me for that?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it all out for the.
All right, I'm giving myself the reimbursement.
Sure. You guys can keep all kinds of count of that all over the board here. That's what it's there for.
So how hidden is this auto injector?
I mean, it's fairly well hidden. It's like that thing, when you notice that you have a spot on your clothes that doesn't come out, you can't not ever not see it again.
Can we work to make it more hidden?
You can. You can certainly try.
Do you want to keep trying? Do you want to do an extended test, Kaimi?
I don't know. I think I'm fine with the 5 hits because, again, I'm only rolling 5 dice. So the more we roll, we lose 1 each time, the greater chance we're going to have to glitch, which is going to have.
So considering some time has passed, can I make another attempt?
I mean, yes, but you're going to be in the same kind of situation.
But I can start again with 4 dice.
I mean, you can start again with your. So, that's really gamifying the system. You know what I mean?
Well, I understand from extended tests, if the amount of time you spend on the test passes, you can reattempt it.
So you're going to pick it up tomorrow then.
Did it take me 24 hours?
Well, you had to wait 6 to 12 hours for him to finish up his search. I assume somewhere in there you're going to sleep. Doesn't have to be a full 24 hours, but I assume that you pass the jacket off to him, he works on it through the rest of the night or whatever. Are you going and hanging out at his house and yo, I'm just gonna jump on that jacket when you're done?
I assume we were all working together. We woke up at 7. We've been working.
It's gonna take you at least a day to get the jacket even delivered. So that's something to consider. They don't just transport or materialize in front of you.
All right. So what sort of day do you think we'd see a completed jacket?
So it was Wednesday, probably Friday sometime.
As in delivered or completed?
Delivered, installed, and that's your last chance to really work on it.
All right. Should I roll, or should we assume that I bought the hits?
That's 2 days in advance. So let's see what everybody else is doing. Unless this is a 6-man team on this jacket. There was some Lao Chang freight that you guys were attempting to make contact with. That I believe the plan was to Shady McFly him to California and get him dropped off. Is that?
Well, now we run into a conundrum. Because if he goes willingly, all we need to do is buy a regular airline ticket, but we don't need the freight company. But if he has to be knocked out, we do.
I
don't
don't
like
trust.
variables. I don't like variables, and everything would have to go absolutely our way to convince him to board the flight and fly out on his own.
I mean,
I would
And
rather
honestly,
just knock
I
his
can
ass
see him
out.
being stupid enough to do like a me feed post being like, getting signed by the 49ers. I say we just knock him out.
okay.
And we don't even tell him we're going to fly him anywhere. We tell him that we're going to take him for a meeting with some executives downtown and to put the jacket on, and then we knock his ass out and drive him to the airport. Like, he didn't even know he's going to be flying anywhere. We don't put any expectations. He's just coming to meet on the down low with the scouts.
All right, how'd those negotiations go?
So the Lark, what is your intention here? Paint me a word picture.
Well, I guess I am calling on behalf of a certain group of individuals who are wondering how we may be able to get a
Can you speak up?
chartered flight from here in Seattle to whatever we were saying the airport was down there.
So
Can you hear me better?
not really.
How about now?
I mean, I could struggle through it, but
Can you hear me now? Good.
don't worry, we let you fall on your face with that one.
That's what it's good for.
Yeah.
All right. So, sorry. Go ahead.
You will get a lovely young woman when you call up the number that you have there.
Please do a racist accent.
No, she operates out of Seattle. She's a Seattle native. She doesn't have a horrible racist accent. And you were asking if you could charter a flight?
Yes.
She's like, I'm sorry, sir. This is a freight shipping company. We don't deal in personal flights.
Yeah,
It would be one crate
Basket.
and 2 personnel escorting it.
So, and I saw you had a bunch of hits up there earlier. When were you? I understand you have a parcel you wish delivered. Where are you intending to deliver it, and what days were you looking to have this delivery happen?
Out of character, we were saying that it would have been the next day, which was a Thursday. So I would say either late Thursday into Friday.
No, we were picking him up on Friday, remember?
Picking up on Friday. So it would be over the course of the weekend.
We'd probably, try and fly Friday night.
And it would be whatever they have available. So Friday night into the weekend.
So you just need to break character for a second. You're just looking to hire the plane to get him to this drop-off point in Calvary.
With 2 escorts with the crate.
Well, if we're doing this the plane route, if we're doing this the Shady Air plane route, we might as well all of us go, and we're going to need 2 crates, 1 crate with the body, 1 crate with our equipment.
All right, so 2 crates with 3 people escorting each crate.
And what time are you intending to leave?
Late Friday night.
Between this Friday night into the weekend, preferably sooner the better.
Also, let it slip somehow that you don't want too many inspections and checkings and all that. You want to avoid all of that.
Is that something you let slip?
I mean, you can be
Because of
like,
time
we would
constraints.
pay well to expedite the process.
Well, I'm going to say we would pay well to have this off the books and kept really quiet.
So she will respond with, "Sir, I'm not sure this is the right business for you to be calling. It sounds like what you're asking me to do is illegal, and I'm not sure that I can, in good conscience, take this call any farther."
Tell her your killer family.
I'm going to shoot
Bribe her.
a message saying that you have set me up with the wrong people.
No, we may have to go through if we're gonna ask them to do something blatantly illegal. We may have to go through the triads to do it.
Or grease the wheel.
Or we should have been doing this in person and not over a comlink where we could be anybody.
That's what I was going to say.
Telephone.
We should have done this in person.
Yeah.
Bring script.
Is there a place where we would be able to meet where I can assure you this is not something illegal?
Sir, you have presumably just asked me if I could transport your gear across across federal borders without any customs?
International.
True, sorry, international. This all sounds very illegal, and I'm sorry that I cannot service your needs.
Tell your killer family.
Hang up the phone. We're just gonna have to. It's the right place, but this is not the right approach.
It doesn't sound like the right place.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.
And she will hang up without saying another word.
All right, you're probably going to want to burn that link.
Com link just in case, yeah.
So here's the thing. I mean, like, if we want them to do super shady stuff, we probably need to contact the triads and book this through the triads, not through the place. We can book this through the place. We just need to not act so shady. In which case, we just say, "Hey, we're trying to take our Then we're back down to two people riding with a coffin, the weeping family riding with a coffin to fly the coffin down. But then everybody else needs to have another way to get them and the gear."
I mean, I can fit him in the smuggling compartment in my car and just drive.
I don't know, man. That's a long way.
But if that's all we got, I mean, hey, we kind of have to risk it.
There's no reason they disassemble my car to discover a smuggling compartment.
No, exactly. And I'm magic-y, so I can just go with them and provide support.
I mean, I'd be controlling the car, rigged in, and Lark would be in the driver's seat to do any talking, and the Decker would be on site to do what's needed.
But we can't keep him slabbed out for like a week, which is what it will take to drive that.
To Seattle to what? Sacramento? Let me see. Seattle, Sacramento.
Via multiple other countries and back roads, yes. It'll take a week.
You gag him?
Did you see that map I posted in Skype?
I glanced at it at the time, but that would take.
It'd add like a hypotenuse, and if it's 11 hours 33 minutes, so let's say 12 hours Seattle to Sacramento, adding 33% or whatever. That's like 16 hours. We can keep them down for 16 hours. We have enough slab for like days.
So the 12 hours is when there's no borders and you're just taking highways, and that's what Google is saying. But
all right, so these borders going to take like days at a time.
So we can do a 2-day trip. It's not that bad.
Even then, how much slab do we have, Rob? How much does slab do?
I believe you got 4 doses.
How long is that?
Oh, you make me look at the thing. The first answer is going to be questionable because it's going to depend a bit upon the individual's
his roles.
Is it more than 24 hours?
Let me see if it has a thing. So the duration is 10 minus body hours. So that is per dose.
So his body is probably like 5, I'd say. So it's 5 hours per dose, 20 hours for 4 doses.
There's zero margin of error in there.
And you're completely assuming that body is 5.
Okay, if his body
the highest is 6.
then we have 16 hours.
So I'm okay if we can't do anything shady with Shady Air, but Shady Air will still take a contract. I'm thinking we should go body and 2 people, and then everybody else take the car and make the run with the equipment. Because at least then you don't have a variable of a person who might wake up when you're in the middle of the thing and start pounding on the inside of the smuggling compartment, and we don't have to worry about dosing him so much that we get there and he's dead at the end of the 2 days because we overdosed him.
I thought
He
the
probably
problem
takes
with
a lot of
Shady
drugs.
Air-
It sounds like because like his
Also, I'm
friends
just
are
gonna say,
cram.
I'm pretty sure she turned us down because we talked on the phone about doing illegal things. I prefer if we just set up a meet with like talk to one of the people face to face and then talk about specifics, and
I
it'll
don't
probably
think
work.
that she called. I don't think that she refused us because the job itself sounded shady, but because we didn't want to go through customs.
Yeah, That
That was what killed it. It was fine up until that.
All right, so
And that's still going to be a thing. We do want that. We do want to not go through customs.
I don't care about customs. Like I have no fear of customs. Well,
We have
let me
a body
correct
in a box.
a dead body in a coffin on a flight designed to take the dead body to a final resting place in California elicits zero suspicion. The problem is going to
we
be
don't have a death certificate or anything. We're just transporting a body, which is in itself illegal.
And suspicious as shit.
If we had a death certificate, that'd be
it
one
really
thing.
it really isn't.
Why do you have a dead body? How did he die?
Yeah, that's if we don't have a death certificate, we are accessory to murder.
No, again, I can fake shit like that pretty easily. Like I could, if they wanted to go look up his death certificate, I could say a thing happened in a Matrix. This guy was reported dead.
All right, I think
Walking
drive.
to an airport carrying a dead body.
We could go pick up more slab.
All I'm
He's not
saying,
really
guys, ready? Weekend at Bernie's.
Terrible idea.
No, but seriously, you're
We're gonna
thinking
pretend
dead
he's
bodies.
dead so we can pretend he's alive.
You're thinking about dead bodies in a wrong context, right? Because you're thinking about murder victims, you're thinking about getting rid of a body, blah 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 blah. But keep in mind, people die in the real world like all the time,
And they
there
have
are
documentation, death certificates, next of kin. There's documentation surrounding that death. Someone
right,
doesn't
and
just show up.
documentation, and as a technomancer or a hacker, documentation is bullshit ephemeral bits that I can forge really, 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 really easily. That's
If
not
you think
a
you
problem.
can do it easily.
If the story fits, like I'm not trying to hide. I'm flying through an airport and I'm flying with a body in a coffin, and I have a death certificate. Nobody questions that, right?
Then let's just take legal air.
But the problem there is that they would put the body in the back of the plane, which is not pressurized, because why do you care about the body? And in which case, he actually dies. So, which is why we have to make sure that he's in a pressurized cabin.
No, you give him a biomonitor and give him oxygen.
The oxygen tank would show up. The oxygen tank would then negate our story about this is a dead body, because you scan it and you go, hey, why is there an oxygen tank in a coffin?
Okay, you have him go under surgery. How much is an oxygen tank? Put
Oh,
one
no, we're
inside
not
of
putting
him.
an oxygen tank inside of him.
Oh, did you not hear our expendable budget? We have like 50K.
I don't want him to wake up with an oxygen tank inside of him.
You
We're
won't
not
realize.
performing surgery on him.
Internal air tanks only hold an hour worth of air per rating.
So rating 6, right?
We could fill him with air tanks.
We can't go through normal air because I'm pretty sure the security is good enough to determine that the person in the box is alive. People already try to smuggle themselves onto flights that way.
Yeah, you drag him to be dead. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Honestly, I think driving is not as bad as
More
you think.
drugs.
Yeah,
Thousands of cars go through these borders every day.
that's true. I mean, if drugs can make it through, why can't a person?
Especially since that person is presumably unconscious / looks dead in a smuggling compartment in a car.
Yeah, we cuff him, gag him, and we're good.
Okay,
So
we
the
don't
way
need to
those-
cuff or gag him if he's on slab.
Well, if it wears off, we still need to cuff him, for sure.
Well, we can get more slab.
Yeah, but what if he wakes up and he's out of slab? Cuff him. Easy.
I want to get enough slab where we have to wait around once we're already in Cal free for him to wake up.
We fill the box with foam.
Oh, how many doses can the auto injector hold?
I really hope nobody would ask that question.
Oh, hold on. I was in I'm reading Chrome Flash right now.
It doesn't say.
It doesn't
Hold
say.
on.
The closest I can get is the
It's
injector
probably
harness, which is also in Chrome Flash, which says 20 doses, but it's not specifically linked.
A single
It says-
dose base auto injector designed to hold a single dose of a chemical. With auxiliary storage unit is often implanted to allow up to 5 additional
I
No,
doses.
that's
think
implanted.
That's the implant one. So looking at it
Okay.
right here, an auto injector by itself can hold 5 doses.
That's enough slab. We could just pick up one more dose of slab, and he'll be out for a minimum of
16.
minimum of 20 hours. But I doubt he has body 6.
He plays football, so maybe.
Yeah, he'd probably have strength 6, at most body 5. What is he? He's a quarterback, isn't he? He probably doesn't even have body 5.
I don't think he was a quarterback. I think I said that he was like effectively a lineman kind of thing.
Yeah, he
Okay.
said lineman. Because I was like, wait a minute, that sounds tough.
So personally, I think he's strength 6, body 5. But even if he's body 6, that's a minimum of 20 hours, and that's way more than we'll be driving.
Okay, this brings up a good point, an important point. We should probably biomonitor this guy, which Nick suggested. But beyond that, what do we do if we have to wake him up?
I can knock him out.
No.
Just throwing that out there.
What do we do if we have to wake him up because the drugs are starting to kill him?
Did drugs don't? Is that how that works?
I can heal him. So we're good.
Oh, God.
I don't
Wake
have
up.
res yet. I'm not level 8 cleric, but I can heal him.
Wake
All
up
right.
so we can kill you and drug you again.
In addition, we forgot the fact that when you're on highways in Shadowrun, you're on GridLink, where you go like 400 kilometers per hour. So we're going to be going faster than Google Maps will tell us.
Wait, really?
Yeah. In addition, GridLink will provide the fuel we need to drive.
There's a reason
And-
they use T-birds to chase people on the highway.
And if we ever need to go off GridLink, I have GridLink override, where it seems like we're still on GridLink, but we're not actually. So we could potentially get there a lot quicker than Google Maps will tell us. I don't know how fast 400 to 500 kilometers per hour is in miles per hour, but
120 is 75. So
point
it's
is,
pretty fast.
5 doses of slab will be enough to keep him out for the journey.
As long as he survives it.
Will
Do we-
slab? Does slab kill you?
Slab? You want me to
Overdose,
roll that?
dude.
Okay, we need to get at least one more dose of slab.
You guys crushed the hits. You can easily get another like dose or 2.
All right. So how is the auto injector in the jacket looking?
I mean, it looks all right.
Can like I say, Lark, can you see this? And I show him the jacket.
Would I roll a perception for that?
Sure. I mean, you can definitely notice with 6 hits. It's the 12. It's the second 12 of these. Oh, I'm sorry. So with 4 hits on the jacket roll, you can't see. And you're
All
easily,
right, that'll do. Can we load it up with slab, the auto injector?
if that's what you guys want. You guys have 5 slots. You can put 5 doses of chemicals in it.
We put the 5 slab.
All right. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna write
That
this down.
leaves one spare when he said we could get 2.
What is the time interval on how often they are set up to inject?
I'd
Can we get-
assume like once every combat turn, probably.
Well, no, I'm talking about like if you guys are planning on using this to keep him slabbed the entire flight or the entire time. What is your interval of additional dosage?
We don't have to set it beforehand. We can do it wirelessly.
Okay, I was just checking to see if you guys had something for that right now.
As long as somebody's, watching
Um,
that.
It
Do we
would
have
it
a
be would it,
biomonitor there too?
would it be possible for us to slap a biomonitor on him after he's unconscious?
Yeah, you could hook that up pretty easily once he's no
Alright.
longer adversarial.
Can we buy that to use that?
Sure.
How much is that?
I don't know. I think they're like $300.
All right. Can that go out of expenses?
Mhm.
Um,
That's up to you guys.
is that okay, Lark? I presume Lark gives me the drugs so I can put them in.
Probably.
Yep, and I'm adding it to our tally on the side.
All right.
All right. Can I, presumably I told Johnny about the limo being Friday.
Last I knew, he was waiting on a time for you guys to get back to him on.
All right. I tell him, can I tell him? Can I call him up, say Friday?
It's like, yeah, you need it all day Friday?
Probably between 12 and 6 p.m. No, 12 and 8. Let's make it 12 and 8.
Okay, so you will have access to this limo. That's an interesting sound in the background. Thanks for that. I need to really rail you guys on mic discipline one of these days. So it's going to be a limo, let's say 6 seats in the back, kind of like a 3-bench seat and a 3-bench seat. And then it'll have a driver's seat and a passenger seat with a polarized window in between the driver and the passengers. It's not going to come with any champagne or anything like that, but it's your nice classical black, that kind of thing. It does not have spoof chips or a morphing license plate, so can keep that in mind. And for 12 to 8, he's going to ask for 2,500 New Yen.
Oh, for a second, I was very excited. All right, we can do 2,500. Can I give him? How much would it be for the whole day?
You're looking at like $4,000 for the whole day.
Nah, 2,500. I wire in the cash and I expense it.
Okay. Add it to the list. So you guys have a limo for Friday night, where I believe are still on Wednesday evening.
Yeah, so I assume he'll hold on to it until then.
Yeah, no, he knows ahead of time that like this is when you're gonna need it. You have a jacket.
A very expensive jacket.
I mean, it's only like a $2,000 jacket now. Well, probably close, probably a little bit more than now that you've got $2,000 in drugs in it.
We don't have to let him keep it.
Okay, we're not selling this drug jacket. We're probably going to burn it for evidence.
I mean, we could just reuse it next time we have to snatch somebody from the university crowd.
Yeah, next time we steal someone named Rufus Dennison.
Oh,
Number
crap, we
38.
customized it.
I mean, we could simply just remove the auto injector and the drugs and then burn the jacket. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
we should probably take the auto injector out afterwards and then burn the jacket. Point is, we got all that.
Give it to some hobo. But yeah.
And
Here, hobo, have this drug jacket.
the
He'd probably
smuggling
love that.
compartment can fit the size of a human, right?
As long as it's not like a smuggling compartment on a motorcycle.
No, it's like in a car.
Yeah,
A car with a body of 12.
Yeah, you can fit a dude in there. It's probably not going to be the most comfortable of rides.
I mean, hopefully he'll be sleeping like the dead.
We'll also have to keep in mind all of our like guns and probably our armor if we don't want to stick out at the crossings. Everything restricted or illegal will need to be piled in there with him.
I mean, okay. I have like a license to carry. Would that be a problem at the border?
That depends. What what are you carrying, and how good is your
I have a
license?
license to carry a machine pistol.
So that license is to carry a machine pistol in the UCAS, right? So what about Tier? What about Pueblo? What about Cal Free State?
I don't know how international law is in Shadowrun. There's no background checks for that.
For sake of ease, we'll say that it's going to carry over as long as you're on the same continent. If you guys go over to like Germany and stuff, then we'll get somewhere different.
Just to be safe, I will probably turn it off, you know, and I'll just put it in my, concealed quick draw holster.
Sure.
Uh,
Trying to
So
see.
we're no longer doing this by plane, and we're now taking him via car.
yeah, we're driving.
So it sounds like
Okay.
feeling sad about
Slightly
that
riskier.
sprite task, but that's okay.
Hey, I mean, in the future, we have that option.
I mean, so can't we just say like we're a bunch of bounty hunters taking our bounty from like, I don't know, Seattle to Calfrey?
Then they'd look up the bounty.
And they'd
that's
absolutely remember that. And that's why they'll also remember a group full of guys that are all packing concealed registered firearms. They'll remember that too. So
Me and a couple others could just like fly down. Like we don't have to be in the car.
Yeah, not all of us have to be in the car, right?
Yeah, I just want the Decker and the face in the car with me.
Yeah.
You will need one muscle.
No, I won't.
What if you get hit? You're in a
My
car
car
now.
has 16. How much armor actually? Let me see. My car has 14 armor and 4 guns on it, and electronic countermeasures and electromagnetic shielding and grenade launchers.
Okay.
All very cleverly hidden, but they need to disassemble the car to find the guns. I don't think they'd do that.
How much would it cost for me and Splatter to just buy airplane tickets?
Probably like 500 or so new yen.
A
Maybe.
piece?
Yeah. There would also be some sin checking going on.
But wouldn't that have been border check anyway?
So, yes, but getting on a plane is going to be a little bit more stringent than just a border checking, because, when a mage gets on a plane, very bad things can happen very, very, very quickly, and there's very little you can do about it.
Yeah.
All right, Splatter, we're going in your car.
Does anyone know if a rating 4 is good enough to make it through just the average border?
Depends upon dice rolls. So mechanically, it works out like they roll double their sin scanner in dice, and in order to break your sin, it has to roll higher. Like your sin is a threshold. So with your rating 4 sin, I would have to roll 5 hits to prove that it is a fake.
Oh, that's worrying.
I mean, depends upon the rating of the scanner. If I tie you, like if you have a rating 4 sin and I roll 4 dice, it reports that there's some kind of error, and then I rescan. So
That's worrying.
Well, it's one of those things. If we're all together, then what I will probably do is I will probably compromise the scanner that they're using, and then just make sure that we're all clear and it forgets us.
All right.
If we're splitting up, though, there's nothing I can do for the group that I am not with.
The only people I want in the car is me, who's driving it. I won't be in the driver's seat, though. Lark will be in the driver's seat. And the Decker will be with us, too. And Lark, if they ask why you're not technically driving, it's because you hired me as your driver.
I think I don't think when we want to send 2 people on the plane, if we're bringing the body on the ground, everything, we might as well just all go together. We just need to come up with a good cover story of where we're going and what we're up to.
But then they're going to
probably
be checking all our sins, and that's just more of a chance for them to roll high.
No, but that's what I'm telling you, right? So if we're all together and we go, they've got a scanner.
Airport.
They got a scanner. That scanner is they're going to feed all 5 sins into that scanner. I'm going to compromise that scanner. So that
Can't they
scanner
go in a different car?
No,
Yeah, like, we
I
just
gotta
be,
be.
like, right
We
behind
all gotta
you.
be together. If we're not together, I can't help them, and then they're gonna get actual rolls.
What is
against
compromised scanner?
It means I'm going to get marks on it, and I'm going to do garbage in, garbage out. So I'm going to tell it now. When you scan a sin, you say yes, that's okay, and you delete the record. That's what you
And
do
you're
now.
sure you can do that?
Absolutely. That's not a hard thing.
All right, I guess we're just gonna have a real packed car.
I mean, like,
We can do
again,
2 cars as a
2 cars
caravan,
back to back. Yeah, caravan. There we go. That's the word.
and I could fly.
It's one of nature's most beautiful sights. The convoy.
Because if one car gets compromised, I don't want the job to be compromised.
One car
Well,
gets compromised. The border
Also, I was
crossing
going to say,
checkpoint's
you
gonna get compromised.
probably shouldn't be taking your own car as well.
Oh, my car's the perfect car for the job.
Yeah, but in case we need to burn and get rid of your car, are you willing to like blow it up and say goodbye to it?
I've got morphing plates, spoof chips, chameleon coat.
Yes. All of that is pretty impressive. But I'm just saying, just in case, hypothetically, it's not like 100% foolproof just because you have morphing plates and chameleon coat, which is pretty illegal, by the way.
Well, yeah, but they'd have to once again disassemble
Yes.
the car.
I'm sure
It
there
It
are
also
other
has
ways
a
of
drill on
finding
the
out.
front burrow into the ground.
How would they discover something like, I don't know? They have ways of discovering like spoof chips, Rob?
Maybe.
Yes.
The way the book just made it seem was that it's like an ID generator.
Yeah, like each instance of spoof chips is a different set of like credentials for it. So long as your spoof chips match, like I envision them as this vehicle is this VIN number, is this make model, owned by this person kind of thing, like a digital version of your pink slips kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm assuming unless they go and track down every single Dodge Charger in North America, I should be fine.
So the way I've thought about spoof chips is spoof chip just randomly generates something that looks legit and passes checksums, but there's nothing backing it up. So if you're driving on a road, your car will look like a normal car, and they've got no reason to suspect you because you're broadcasting a valid number. But the second they go to say, "Okay, let me make sure that number is legit," there's nothing backing you up. They will absolutely know that that car is not really registered.
So
Well,
the
then how-
reason I don't like that is because spoof chips don't have a rating. Like if they were basically car sins, and the higher rating ones give you a better chance of not being identified, I could get more behind that. But as it's just kind of like a as is thing, like they don't have ratings or variables or. Well, thank you, Catalyst, for no specific details on what exactly it is.
And there's no way to roll against it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if you actually went and looked at it, then it would automatically be fake because it's randomly generated. I mean, it doesn't have a backstory. Fake sins have backstories, and the higher the rating, the bigger the backstory. The spoof chip is incapable of generating a backstory. So if you look at it even a little bit, you'll know it's bullshit. It just lets you hide the fact that you're not broadcasting an ID.
I mean, that kind of just makes it useless then.
It is. I mean, it's only good for making you not stick out when you're driving around in traffic. That's really I mean, it's not even an expensive thing, but it doesn't withstand any scrutiny. Or at least that's.
Wait,
the
what
way
were
it
you going to
happens.
say, Rob? Your whole sentence. Are you pro spoof chips or against spoof chips?
Apparently, according to Stolen Souls, spoof chips just cover the digital side. It's non-specific, but just saying it spoofs the identity. It's basically a fake SIN for the car. And okay, it's not something you do on the fly. Once you put a spoof chip in, that's like that singular fake identity, and you can then change that fake identity.
So instead of randomly doing a thing, then you basically have to install an identity into your car.
Kind of, but it's not like a physical thing. It's a chip. Well, as in that is
So
somewhat physical.
A
It
chip is a
says
physical
here-
thing.
The spoof chip mimics a standard vehicle identifier chip, but can be commanded with a complex action to change its identifier to a different random value that is arithmetically generated to appear authentic. Um,
Yes.
I'm going to assume that it is smart enough to at least get the make and model of your car right.
I assume it's like a serial number generator. Like they check
Yeah.
the serial number and they're like, "Yep, this is a Dodge Charger."
So I don't think like here's the thing. If they, for example, get you running spoof chip in X configuration at checkpoint 1, and then at checkpoint 2 you are running the same vehicle, different identifying number, and like they know that it's you, then you're in deep shit. But so long as you don't like repeat too many times, um, I don't have a problem really not getting into the nitty gritty of how they work.
Sounds like we're in the clear.
Um, However, you guys are, if you are driving, you're going through at least 3 borders.
Boise is a split city,
Okay.
meaning it's like an open city. It's like it's like divided between 3 borders.
So you're going to have to leave a border to get into Boise.
To my understanding, it's just the city, and it's an open split city, meaning we can just drive through Boise.
And that seems like a horrendous security risk.
Perhaps I'm misunderstanding. Let me look.
I could see allowing them to let anything into Boise, but I see the problem is getting stuff out of Boise. Because if that one city is super open to all methods of traversing, why even have a checkpoint? Because they'll just go through that place where checkpoints don't exist.
It's known as a smuggler's haven.
That does not mean that checkpoints don't exist.
No, I'm reading the thing. I mean, it's down to whatever you want to do. You're the GM.
Right. But I want to do what makes sense and is at least partially supported.
I mean, we could just go through Tier Tangere, and there's a bit of the border that is not disputed. We just go through that if you guys want.
We don't have any elves anymore, though, do we?
I'm an elf. And Lark's an elf.
All right, well, we can go for the 3 borders or for the 2 borders. Up to you guys completely.
I think maybe going through a border crossing in a city would be more advisable because, yeah, it's a city, there's a lot of people, but they're not bored border guards that haven't done anything all day and they're itching to just have some action. They'll probably just wave you through. There's like 1,000 people in line behind you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want a busier crossings, not.
In that case, we'd probably hit Seattle. And also, I bet the border guards at Boise are used to being bribed by smugglers. So if something does go wrong, they wouldn't look past a bribe. As in, they'd look past if we bribed them.
They wouldn't look any farther than a bribe.
So we could go Seattle, which is a city, Boise, which is a city, Reno, which is a city.
I just want to point out that, in a busier border checkpoint, if something is up, the idea of you flooring the pedal to get out of there is going to put you right in somebody else's trunk.
Well, even if it was an empty border crossing and we floored, they'd have air control and video and whatnot.
Right. I was just, from the sounds of things earlier you were talking about, you could just run from them. But just putting it out there that at a busier place there's going to be more vehicles hanging around.
Yeah. All right, so is it Seattle border, Boise, and then Reno?
That's up
I
to
don't
you
know.
guys.
I still wish we were just taking the plane.
I think this is a better idea.
Nah, I get airsick.
All right, so what else do we need to prepare for this journey?
I don't know.
A plausible story that actually makes reason why we are actually going through multiple borders.
We're going to a vacation and we're racist against elves.
Why?
going to
What's
see
the
the
racist
49ers.
against them?
Because we're skipping Tier. And we're just going on a vacation. We wanted to visit the great city of Boise. And then California.
Let's go
We
through
also
mine.
have,
That would explain the guns we're carrying.
We would not have those guns broadcasting and whatnot. Moreover, we're licensed to conceal carry, self-defense. It's a dangerous world.
That is
Are we
true.
licensed to concealed carry?
If you're
Um,
sit-
My sin is if you guys don't have the appropriate licenses, do not conceal carry.
Carry openly.
the football team. Why can't we just be the game?
What?
We're going to see the 49ers.
Okay, that could be part of our journey. I don't think they just question vacations. Why would they? They like
That's
the
a-
tourist. They want the tourist
No.
money.
They ask you, where are you from and what are you doing here? That's usually
Any
how it
fruits or
goes.
vegetables? Are there any vegetables in this box?
All right, so I'm gonna be your driver, Lark, and Kaimi will be your gay lover.
I'm Grandpa.
How much to rent a car if we want a caravan?
They don't have. Oh, another reason why I need to use my car is because of the smuggling compartment.
So,
And we're all cramming in there?
I prefer just to have the decker in the face.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to ride in your car. If we're going in a caravan, I might be in the car behind you. I
Well,
can still see
someone needs to bribe
cars.
my car through, or not bribe, but convince them to let my car through. My car is the
Oh,
one which matters.
I know, but I got to do it for everybody. So if we were in another car, then our car could be ahead of your car, and I could do what I need to do, and then everybody coming behind us is going to benefit.
All right.
From
Well, if everyone's coming in my car, we've got to look like completely normal people, and all of our sins have to be at least rating 4 with the appropriate licenses. Okay. No one is responding.
I can pass that.
Yeah. I mean,
Hello?
it's just going to be weird. Like, what? 6 people in a car?
Yeah, it is going to be weird.
Wait, so are we carrying gear openly, or is that fitting box too?
There's no gear coming.
No gear.
Anything you don't have a legal, completely legal license to have, you cannot bring,
I have licenses for everything.
including your forbidden weapons.
I don't have any forbidden weapons.
All right, so then you're clear to go. But I don't want like assault rifles and stuff. Nothing you can't conceal carry.
Oh, there goes
Well,
the
but that's-
shotgun.
But that's the thing about your smuggling compartment, right? I mean, that's the benefit of it. We can stuff stuff in there with the body.
I mean, that's
not
up
a
to
lot of
Rob.
stuff.
No, not a lot of stuff. But if they find your smuggling compartment and they pop it open and there's a body inside, then that's
Why are they
worse
going
than
to
if there's an
be?
AK-47.
Why are they going to be poking around through my car?
I don't know. But there's a
If-
lot of people who might want to do it between
If
here
they're
and there.
poking, if they're to the point where they're searching for a smuggling compartment, I think we're screwed.
You're gonna find giant
Yeah.
guns. Huge
Yeah.
ones.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll give us at least like a normal check through to make sure we're not carrying anything illegal, right?
Yeah, but
Including
that
your
doesn't
car.
include searching for a smuggling compartment. That's going to be like looking in the windows.
It's a random thing. They'll take the the mirrors underneath the cars. They'll do that for everybody. But on occasion, they say everybody out. They run dogs through. It's a random thing.
Also,
That's
isn't
why.
your
That's
gun?
why each one we have to go through drastically increases our
I
risk.
think my smuggling compartment is capable of handling that sort of scrutiny. Again, it doesn't have a rating, so I don't know.
Did you apply any anti-identify things to it?
Yeah, shielding.
Yeah.
Shielding just prevents things like chemicals and radiation, etc. Is there shield? What sort of shielding would apply?
Chemical
Well,
if you got a body in it.
depends.
Is that chemical?
Chemical would probably, I would imagine chemical would be like an airtight situation, which would keep, body
There's
stank.
smuggling compartment shielding is what it's
Yeah,
called.
but that's non-specific. It just mentions things like chemical, etc.
If your smuggling compartment is chemical sealed, how does he breathe?
Yeah, we'd have to get him air. But if it's not chemical sealed, then we run the risk that if they put dogs through there, the dogs are going to smell and bark and scratch at the compartment, wherever the compartment is, because they're going to smell a person in there.
They use dogs. They use drones now.
All right,
That's
so
That's an
difference.
assumption.
I can put chemical sealing, but then we need to get them air.
Just get him a respirator with oxygen.
How long can we get oxygen for that?
However much we buy. Here, let me look it up.
We're gonna need at least 24 hours.
You can buy extra air tanks for gas masks. I think they're like 40 nuyen, and they are $100
All
for the
right,
gas mask, and
so
then 40 for the maybe 200 actually.
Yeah, 40 nuyen.
Keeping
So
in
I
mind
get-
that that's like screw thing on, take thing off, reattach thing.
and how much does each tank last?
They last for about an hour.
All right, then that's not feasible.
If you wanted to like buy a scuba tank for like, you're not going to be able to get a 24 hours supply of oxygen into your smuggling compartment with a person.
How long would a scuba tank last?
Let me Google how much air in a scuba tank.
Oh, that's
like
perfect
30
cover.
psi. It's usually what they have.
But these are future scuba tanks.
So if we had scuba tanks and stuff with us, right? We
Can't
could
we
say
just keep it cracked until we get to the point?
Oh, we're on a snorkeling trip, a scuba
right.
trip.
It's a checkout dive. It's a checkout dive for us to get certified, and that's why there's a bunch of us, and that's why we're going without taking tons of equipment, and that's why we're going by ground so that we can bring our equipment with us.
Yeah, that's silly.
pretty
Why
good.
couldn't we just dive in Seattle?
Because it's Seattle.
Too cold. It's too cold, and there's nothing to see. You could get a checkout dive there, but you have to wear suits in Northern California, and it's murky. We can tell them we're going down to SoCal, down to the beaches.
So, according to Google, the average beginner diver's air consumption in calm waters runs a tank close to empty in about an hour. So I would be comfortable giving you an hour and a half, because you're not actually underneath water.
Well, also his breathing consumption is going to be greatly reduced because of the slab. He's not going to be breathing very much. His metabolic rate is going to be slower, so it should extend the time that he could be on that air tank a good bit.
How much was the air tank?
Hour and a half.
No, New Yen wise.
Extra what? Like, are you looking to buy, or are you looking to rent some scuba gear? Because that's an important question.
How much is buy?
Let's go to
Pretty
the same price
expensive.
as a gas mask. Or actually, no, there's stats for it, isn't there?
Yeah, full face mask is what it's described as.
Armor.
It's in run and gun.
I have a ballistics mask with a gas mask, so we would just need the tanks.
Let's say the tanks are just then 100 nuyen a hit then.
Can we I'm pretty good with mechanics. Kind of like jury rig multiple of them together.
Do you have the jury rigger quality?
It wouldn't be like jury rig. I'd make like a construction, presumably with pipes and whatnot.
So let's run this back through again real quick. You're trying to fit a body, multiple scuba tanks, and a contraption in the trunk of your smuggling compartment.
All right, so I don't even have. Oh God, you're right. This is getting to be too much.
Like, I'm cool with like a scuba tank hooked up to an apparatus and maybe like a shotgun or something in there. But like, there's got to be a limit in here somewhere.
could we potentially fit 2 scubas, guy with the mask, and then connect those scubas together with tubing?
If you are cool with him not having like a very comfortable ride at all.
Isn't he like supposed to be looking dead?
He is, but I'm just saying, if something were to happen, he is going to be less than happy about the situation he finds himself in.
I think if you wake up in a smuggling compartment, presumably in some sort of bag, you're probably not happy anyway.
He might bang his head on one of the tanks and knock himself back out. Win-win.
Can't we just change it out between checkpoints?
That is
but
a
I still want
possibility.
to have maximum air capacity. How much would 2 tanks with the pipes when he's on slab be?
Oh, let's go for about 3 hours ish. A little bit more than that.
Do they breathe normally on slab?
It's like super reduced, but they still need to consume air. Um,
Do we get any extension off of that?
I would feel free. Let's make it about 4 hours then.
Okay, so we'd probably need to switch that every 4 hours. And I'm going to buy chemical sealant.
Okay. What's the availability on that?
That is something like a 6. Let me see. I can probably get it from Johnny. Let me just see. 12F, actually. I should roll for Johnny.
Yep, you're going to have to roll. And how much would that cost?
It would be 3,000.
Go away, document properties. I don't care about you. So you're looking at about 4 days before he can get that to you and set up.
And it is Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not
it's
feasible. Yeah, it's not feasible then.
Wednesday. He can do it, but it's going to take him some time.
Yeah. So
Well,
let's say I'm
we
not
just
gonna.
he has to be out of Seattle by blah blah blah. That just means he has to be abducted. Does he actually have to be out of? How will they know if he's out of Seattle?
Yeah, but are we gonna keep him on slab for what, 3 days?
keep him handcuffed in a hotel somewhere, basement. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we can if we have to waive off from the seals, that's fine. That was just an added method of comfort. But if we if we have to pull over the road every 2 hour, every couple hours to replace the tanks, then that's going to add its own risk too. So I guess we just throw them in there, no air tanks, no sealing, and hope for the best.
All right, let's do this.
What is Lark rolling?
Trying to see if I can get a chemically sealed body bag that'll kind of do the trick. Just throw him in the bag in the smuggling department.
Actually, also, fun fact, body bags are chemically sealed by nature of them being body bags.
So maybe we could just zip it almost all the way up to try and reduce chemicals or whatever, and he can still breathe.
You know what's weird? Nano gear has no availability.
That sounds like a horrible miscalculation.
All right,
Like,
so
there's
going back,
ratings, essence. Oh, wait, by
presumably we
essence.
can just legally buy a body bag, right?
I don't think that's legal. Like, by nature of being a body bag.
Let me Google.
Can't we?
I don't know. Let me see if I can buy one on Amazon.
That's what I was about to. Yep, you can buy a body bag. It's $27, $27.50 to be exact. Body bag, black.
No, I was wrong. It has availability. It just listed it as essence for some reason. Yeah, nano sealant is 10 availability. No F, no R. It's
You can get a
22.
heavy duty body bag.
Spray it with nano sealant. It'll be chemically sealed. It's $2.50 a shot.
So if you want to buy just like a body bag, I'd be okay with you spending about $50 on a body bag to get it from somebody that's not gonna um, question what you want it for.
And so, what's the availability of that chemical sealant?
I think you said
Nano
10.
sealant is 10 with 250. It's 250 a piece.
10R, 10F, or just 10?
Just 10.
I mean, let's just get the body bag and zip it almost all the way up so he can still breathe, but it reduces it somewhat.
Well, what I'm thinking is you can just zip it up, tape the gas mask on, put tape around there, so the only hole is the air hose, and we just hook it up to the air tank when we need it to. Chemically sealed, we hook it up to the air tank. It's a sealed system.
All right, we can do that. So we need to get scuba tanks, 2 scuba tanks, and do I need to roll to connect them? I mean, I have like a lot of mechanic skills. I assume that'd be industrial mechanic.
We'll need.
It's definitely industrial or nautical because it's a scuba tank, but I'm pretty sure they're the same dice pool for you.
Yeah, they're the same. 10
So-
dice.
Yeah, you can just kind of roll it out and we'll see what happens.
We'll need more than 2, though.
Well, we can get spares. I'm making a device to connect 2 tanks.
5 hits is definitely
Gotcha.
enough to get some tubing and some like a little switchy thing to not a switchy thing, a mergy thing. You tell
Yeah,
them
I assume
I'm an
it'd
engineer.
just be some pressurized tube and a merger.
Yeah.
A flow regulator.
Yeah, that's the word.
A flux capacitor.
A Y junction flow regulator is, I think, actually what you're making. But
All right, so let's get 6 tanks total. And can I also get a spare scuba mask?
Sure.
how about we do this, right? So we got the ninja car that has the dude in it with his concealed air tanks, and then we have a follow car that we rent, completely legit. Maybe a van that we actually have visible scuba tanks in, other scuba stuff.
I was going
gear
to
that the rest
put
of us
going to put the scuba equipment in the trunk, presumably where the access to the smuggling compartment is. And actually, I'm gonna make it. What's a good access for? What's a feasible access? Let me Google smuggling compartment real quick. Point is, in the trunk, I'll have scuba tanks and scuba gear to make it look like I'm a scuba fan.
I imagine it would be like a false bottom to your trunk.
So you
Yeah.
probably have to pull the stuff out of your trunk to access it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be doing that at the side of the street. And also, if there's only you and one other person in your car, why would you have like 4 to 6 scuba tanks and they won't all fit in your trunk? I'm just saying, like, for the believability thing, we want to divorce you from anything
All right.
weird, including
We'll put the scuba
tanks.
tanks in the other car then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then when the other car has a group of us all going for a scuba adventure with nothing illegal and nothing wrong with our vehicle at all, and we're the oddball diversion, and your car is just a regular car that's coming in through right behind us that won't even be memorable after we're telling them about the exciting vacation we want to have. And
All right. Well, Nix should be saying that exciting vacation in the van, and the face needs to be in my car.
no, face has got to, but why? Well, why do you need the face in your car?
Because if my car gets made, that's a problem because I'm transporting the target. If that car gets made, that's less of a problem because there's nothing illegal in that car.
Right, but we want to be the distraction to get you through. Like I don't know that there's going to be some fast talking in your car, because your car should have nothing about it that is even the least bit interesting. It's just a guy in a car.
They can't arrest you for scuba gear. They can arrest me for having a body in my car.
Right, but again, it comes down to what are they going to check, right? If at the same time you got going through a checkpoint just a guy in a car, and then you have a bunch of weird two dwarfs, an elf, and somebody else talking about their scuba adventure in a van, which one are you going to pay more attention to?
What race are you?
He's human. I
Me?
believe.
Oh yeah, no, I'm human.
Okay, Lark. What are you?
Human
He's
looking.
a
Bronze
human-looking elf.
Human.
Yeah, that's just 3 humans going for a vacation. That's not that strange.
No, we have rigger number 2,
Thanks.
me, and Splatter.
I'm talking about my car.
Oh, your car.
Your car should be just you and nobody else. That's what I'm saying.
I
Because
have 2 charisma.
it doesn't matter. You're not gonna.
And
you're-
he's uncouth, so he's just gonna say something stupid to begin
No, I'm
with.
not uncouth. That's I don't have that quality. I was just describing what he I
Oh,
was
okay.
the fact that he has 2 charisma.
Well, I mean,
Gotcha.
maybe it could be you and Nix, and you can let Nix drive if Nix has got a better charisma. But the point being, the large number of scuba tanks that we have to do are going to require a large number of people to believably have a reason for having them.
I don't
'Cause
think
scuba tanks
people
are-
traveling to California with scuba gear is that illogical.
2 guys traveling with 6 tanks would be extremely illogical. Why on earth would you have 6 tanks if you're 2 people? You see them? You see my point now?
3 dives each.
Yeah, I mean 3 dives each. You put them all on a boat and you go on an afternoon of scuba diving. You're only getting what, an hour out of each one? So like that's 3 hours of scuba diving. That's an afternoon of scuba diving.
Yeah, but tanks are refillable with a compressor, which we're not going to have a compressor on us. But generally,
Does a boat
it
have a
doesn't.
compressor?
You know what?
Do boats have
You
compressors?
guys are hanging up on this way too much.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Point is,
Do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want
Okay,
to do.
Like-
I'd like to
that's
have
what
the
we're doing.
face in the car with the target.
The number of tanks is going to be like them questioning that is going to be abstracted by whatever roll you roll back at them. Like way too many specifics over these
Yeah.
tanks.
You don't need to see his identification.
The only reason I need to know how many tanks you are bringing is to see how long until that guy suffocates.
All right, so we got 4 hours out of that double tank setup. So we need to pull over every 4 hours feasibly. We're going, 400 to 500 kilometers per hour on an approximately, probably in modern day time, like probably 1,000 miles because we're doing the roundabout way. So we should let's do 450 kilometers per hour to miles per hour. That is 280
Vehicle
miles
even
per
go
hour.
that fast?
On Grid Guide, it's like it powers the vehicle. Also, my vehicle has a speed of 5 plus. My RC, it's going to be a speed of 7.
Okay. Because I just have
And-
I have a hard time believing in highway speeds where every vehicle is capable of going 240 miles an hour.
That's just what I've heard on campaigns I've watched and from what I know of the books. I did that wrong. 280. We're looking at like 3.5 hours if we stay at max speed, but we won't. So we're maybe looking at 5 to 6 hours. Going off of like the math which I was using for Grid Guide.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way you're doing 400 kilometers because a lot of those highways are turny and twisty, and
This
I
is the
understand the
future.
computer. Yeah, I understand. Oh, they're smarter, but that doesn't change the nature of physics, and it doesn't change that mountains are still a thing, and they're in the fucking way. And it doesn't matter. Everything can go 1,000 miles an hour. Awesome. We're done. It takes 30 seconds to get from here to there. Let's do it.
You sound upset.
It's actually probably about time for us to take our second break anyway. So let's take some time, and I will do a little bit of Googling. If you have any links on that kind of stuff, I would like to look into it because I'm also having trouble fathoming 240 miles an hour on
I
every
know
vehicle.
one language I just watched recently is the Roll Fort Shadowrun campaign. They're stopping a van that is going on Grid Guide just outside of London on the highway, and it's going, I think he mentioned specifically 420 kilometers per hour, and that was a transport van for Lone Star.
All right, I'm going to do some Googling. Let's take 5 and we'll come back to it.